What is going on? And Merry Christmas. But I still wanted to say Merry Christmas nonetheless, man. We've been really, really busy over here in my personal life, and this is actually the first break that I've had since the beginning, maybe the beginning of December, I believe it was. But in either case, man, we are here now. And for those of you who are used to seeing me over at Mike Rock Gaming, either on Twitch or on Facebook, I apologize that we have not been able to play. And the truth be told, I really don't know exactly when we're going to be able to get back to playing. My job is going really, really well. I really love what I do. But the training and stuff that's involved in helping me to be the best at what I do is taking a little bit more time than I would hope that I would want it to. But it's still something that I enjoy and something that I'm looking forward to doing more of. So that takes priority. Just like in you guys' world, I'm sure you guys have things that need to take place before you sit here and watch this show. In fact, if you're watching it now, you probably just are bored at home, or you were tired and you got the notification and you wanted to say hi to make sure I was okay because you hadn't seen me in a while. But I just really wanted to take some time to just enjoy the evening. I got some time. My daughter's with her mom. My sons are here, but they're doing their own thing. And so I figured, what better way to celebrate the Christmas season than to just stop in, say hello to you guys, see how you guys are doing. We do have, we're not going anywhere. However, the more I do, the more I train, the more I work, the better my clarity, the better clarity I get as to what I need to be doing in the future, where I want to be, what my personal goals are, which do involve our community. But I need the one thing that I know is that I can't do everything. And unfortunately, we're going to get to a page to where I'm going to have to eliminate certain things that I've been trying to do in order to do a better job at other things, or we're just going to continue to give you guys a watered down version of some amazing things that I know that I just know won't be as good because I can't give you the time. I can't dedicate the time to every last thing that we want to do. I want to play video games. I love it, but unfortunately, I just really think that it's more important right now than to not necessarily talk politics, but to have discussions, to just let you guys know, how I feel about certain things, to let you know that it's okay to feel a certain way in regards to certain issues and stuff that you guys are dealing with. And the best way that I can do that is to just be me. I've been too focused over the last couple of years at trying to become like this better podcaster, this better whatever you want to call it in front of the camera, and do it in a way that's supposed to help you grow your community and be more popular and grow a following and possibly even make an income at some point. But now that I'm getting to where I want to be financially and in my own career and things like that, I really just don't give a shit about all that. I really think that it's more important to focus on the things that matter most to us, as people, as humans, and especially here in America. And I know a lot of people will listen sometimes and just be like, I'm really tired of this, political conversations, and I'm tired. But I want to do things differently because to me, I think the biggest enemy that we have to our growth, to us doing the things that we need to do here in this country, is our government. I really believe that. I really believe that we're listening to the wrong people. And the reason why we're listening to those people, the government and the media that they control, is that we are not doing a good enough job at coming together as a people and willing to have the discussions, whether we agree with the debate or the facts that are being presented to us, or whether we disagree. We have allowed people to tell us that it's no longer right to have a conversation, to debate, to get on the battlefield of debate, of these of these discussion forums to speak our minds, share our opinions, and then when we're done, to still be friends afterwards. And I've been a victim of that over the past couple of years, where I've lost some family members and I've lost some friends because they didn't value my opinion the same way that I valued theirs. And valuing a person's opinion doesn't mean that you're going to agree with everything that they have to say. It just means that I value who you are as a person, and I'm hoping that at the very least, whether I agree with you or especially if I disagree with you, that your intentions are good. Your intentions are where they want to be, and you want what's best not only for you and your family, but you want what's best for me and the people that live in this country as well. And I really want to spend some time now that money is no longer going to be an issue for me moving forward. I really want to spend 2026 getting to a place that I can be happy with when it comes to myself. When I started the Mike Rock Uncensored, it started off as the Mike Rock Show, and when I started, my kids were the reason why I felt this need to speak out, to speak up and to speak out, to say, you know what? I'm tired of people telling me what opinions I should have, or listening to the drama unfold in the political realm, to sit there and listen and know something's not right, but then to let people on the left or people on the right tell me that if I don't believe this, no matter whether my instincts are telling me it's wrong or not, if I chose not to believe it, if I chose to have my own opinion, or if I simply chose to ask questions because a few things didn't make sense, I'm a traitor to that particular cause or to that particular agenda, or to the government that I voted for. And to me personally, I just really feel that there is a huge need for us to remedy that situation, for us to tell people that you are smart enough, that your opinions do matter, that you're not a Nazi just because you don't agree with a particular side. And both sides have been playing that strategy for years. The radical left started it, where they want to call people a Nazi who don't believe in their progressive agendas. If you weren't woke enough, if you weren't willing to say that it's okay to, excuse my language, I'm not going to try to get too political here, but have an abortion and things like that. If you're not willing to agree with those narratives, then you have to be a Nazi and you have to support Hitler. And if you vote for Trump, you're a part of the problem. When in fact, a lot of us who voted for Trump, us moderates, know that we didn't vote for a man. We voted for what we hoped would be positive change in this country, but we also voted against the negative impact that the left was having on us as a country, as a society. And so when it comes to what I need to focus on, I can't promise when I'm going to be able to play video games again, simply because that cannot be the priority. I have Mike Rock Uncensored, where I get to sit here and chat with you guys, but that to me isn't even the priority either. To me, the priority has to be about us as a people. And I've been sitting back in my truck, training and then having nothing else to do but to sit down with my thoughts and figure out the best path for me moving forward. And I believe that that path has to be about bringing people together. That's what I feel in my heart that I need to do. But I need to do it in a way where people know that I'm at least being genuine at the same time. I'm not going to sit up here because I believe in God. I'm not going about to sit up here and act like I'm holier than thou, or that I want to have a Christian conversation about every last subject that we put on the table, because that's not the case. Yes, I believe in God, but my relationship with God or whatever, that's mine. That's something that I know I haven't, that I'm not in the best place. I'm not where I need to be. I need to be going to church more. But those are my own convictions, and those are things that I need to be dealing with over time. You don't need to be dealing with my issues. If there's something that I say that leads you to want to have your own relationship, then we can discuss that. But I think that that's more of a private conversation. When I talk to people, a lot of times I'll sit up here and cuss. When I begin to get passionate about things, I tend to overspeak sometimes when I know something about something and I need to try to get that point across. And I have a tendency, and I've noticed that when I have these discussions with people in person, that I can be very influential. I'm like I can actually navigate that conversation into the right place, or just be able to lead the conversation to accept when we're getting to a good place and maybe we need to proceed further, or maybe we're not getting anywhere at all and we just need to end the conversation at that point and back off and talk about something else. And I'm really good at doing that in person. I just haven't been as good at doing that in front of this camera, and I want to get better at that. And the only way that I know of that I can do that is to have these natural conversations. I will The plan for me is to do some studying on how I can put together, I guess, the lesson plan for these conversations a little bit better, to be able to stay on point when I'm talking to you guys and not allow myself to get off track. But for the most part, these conversations need to be as natural as possible. That's why I plan on doing a lot of them on these live streams, because if I'm doing them on a live stream, you know that most of this isn't scripted. Some of my videos, especially when I'm on the road, they have to be scripted. I have to get my point across. I don't really need the feedback or the responses in that moment. I can always respond to the comment sections later. I can tell whether you enjoyed the point I was trying to make through whether you followed the channel or whether you've liked that particular video. There are ways to get engaged with those kind of videos, but when I'm on the road, I really can't afford to do these live streams on a regular basis. So the plan for me is to do these live streams when I'm back at home, when I'm in my home studio. So that's going to be the plan moving forward. The other plan that I'm having, that we're going to be following, is that MikeRockUncensored.com and possibly even MikeRockGaming.com are all going to lead to one community. You guys can see it in the top right hand side. Wait, over there. It's called Righteous, and I've worked with this so many times before. Righteous I really like the name. It's short enough. There's some meaning to it. I really liked it. I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with it, simply because I didn't have the right resources to make whatever it is, whatever vision I had for that name. I didn't have the financial or time resources that I need in order to bring that to fruition. And I'm going to have that now. And so what we've decided to do is to create a social community. It's called Righteous. You guys are more than welcome to join it already. We're just not where we want to be. Like, you can do just about everything you can do on Facebook, but the plan with this Righteous community is to get people to start having a conversation, I'm not saying politically, I'm saying that, we as a people need to listen to each other more. We need to rely and support each other more. That's the reason, that's what this Righteous stands for. It isn't just getting right with the country or right with the US. It's also about getting right with each other. And we haven't. That is the biggest problem that we're having right now. Why so many people are afraid to speak out, and so many people are actually getting hurt in the process, like the assassination of Charlie Kirk, because we have very few people who are willing to stand up for what's right, because they know they're going to be ridiculed. They know that people are going to assassinate their character. And so they choose the lesser of the high road. Well, they choose a road other than the high road. They choose to do what's right for them. They choose to go the route of, if I just go ahead and support these people, whether I fully 100% agree with them or not, if I just choose to go that route, then things will be easier for me. Things will be better for me. I'll get more support. More people will want to listen, because the people in charge are going to tell the rest of the world that this is the person you need to be listening to, because they support us 100%. we don't need those kind of leaders in this country anymore. We need people who truly believe in an America First policy. And when I say that, the first thing I say that people want to say when I say America First is that I'm anti everything else, or that I'm one of the sheeples for people like Nick Fuentes or even a Candace Owens, who I have a tremendous amount of respect for. But that's not it at all. America First to me simply means America First. Why are we supporting all of these other foreign countries when we aren't doing enough for our own first? Why are we so against protecting our borders? And I'm not saying that the way Trump and them have been protecting their borders has been the best method possible. We're not discussing that. I'm saying that why are we so against protecting our borders and protecting our own more? What is the problem? Every other country in the world protects their own borders, at least the best that they can. Why is it so wrong for us to do it for ourselves? Why is it so wrong for us to take billions, hundreds of billions of dollars and try to help out our own homeless and our own veterans and just make our country a better place before we step out and begin to try to help other people? And I am not gonna sit here and go into details. Like I do feel a certain way with everything that's been going on with this whole Israel first agenda. I hate with a passion that every disagreement you have with that country and their government has to all of a sudden become anti-Semitic. If you look on Twitter or X right now, everybody that has a problem that is calling the right side, part of the right side, the extreme right, or the, what are they saying? The woke right. The only people calling certain parts of the right the woke right are the people that want you to believe that an Israel first agenda is the right narrative for you to follow right now. And this has nothing to do with, potential genocide in Palestine or any of this. This has nothing to do with that. This, for me, is simply about why are we doing for others when we aren't doing enough for ourselves? Why do we have people struggling in our own country and sending out our taxpayer dollars to foreign countries when we aren't doing enough to help ourselves? I don't see anything wrong with that way of thinking. After all, I do not pay taxes for Israel or Africa or anywhere else. I pay taxes for what's going on in this country, and it's not right that someone like me is paying their fair share in taxes just to see it go to somewhere else. And then all of a sudden you want to turn around and say, we need to raise taxes even more because we have a problem in our own, to address the issues in our own country. It's a lie. The government's going to say whatever they need to say to make you believe that they have our best interests at heart, when in reality, they have proven over and over and over again that they only care about themselves. That's the problem that I have with the Trump administration, just like I did with the Biden administration and Obama before him. And, I have a problem with the fact that they sell us so many lies and we continue to believe. It's the same system with a different face, the same dragon with a different head on it each and every single time. Hey, sexy cutie, do I know you? You sound familiar, but Merry Christmas to you as well, and God bless you as well. But it's the same. It's the same three-headed dragon with just a different head each and every single time. Whenever we get tired of the bullshit that one political leader is feeding us, then they say, you know what, it's time to put a new face on this to get the people hyped up all over again, get them so that they can then turn around and start to believe in us again, so that we can turn around and start bullshitting them all over again. They don't want us. That all of this division, to me, no, I don't agree with a lot of these woke policies, and I never will. But I don't believe that these woke policies are supposed to be enough to create this division that we have that keep us from making better choices for this country. There's nothing wrong with staying in your own lane, but they made that a bad word, just like being anti-Semitic or being racist. Staying in your own lane is not a bad thing. We are all different people, and if I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, then we're just not compatible people, and it's okay. I would rather live in a world where we are all different and keeps things interesting than when we try to force a world where everybody is supposed to be the same. And we can't do that when we try to force our agendas and force our narratives on the rest of the world. We just can't do that. There are certain things that we need to be doing as a country to say, hey, listen, these are the rules and these are the laws that keep us peaceful amongst one another. But there is nothing wrong at the same time with exercising your right to be an individual, to have your own personal beliefs and your own personal faith in things, as long as it doesn't have a negative impact on other people. And the minute that something you do or something you say begins to have that kind of negative impact, then we need to address what we can do to keep things peaceful, to make sure that your way of life isn't harming someone else's way of life. And it's not the easiest thing to do. It really isn't. When I understand, for instance, with the trans movement, there's a lot of people who truly and genuinely want to be accepted as whatever they choose to identify with. But at the same time, while I personally don't have a problem with whatever you want to identify with it, if it goes against what I believe, I'm sorry, I just can't force myself to choose your belief over my own, because I don't. And so we have to learn how to respect the fact that I'm not trying to purposely destroy your belief in yourself or what you choose to identify with. I just choose to better represent who I am as a person and accept the fact that I can't, for whatever reason, whether it's my faith, whether it's based on what I believe is scientific fact, whatever it is. If I can't choose to believe in what you believe in, then we just have to learn how to stay in our own lanes and respect each other's space. And when we can do that and accept the fact that this isn't personal, that you refuse to use pronouns, for instance, since we're on that subject, you refuse to use pronouns, not because you don't like me or you don't want what's best for me, but because it goes against what you believe. Period. It really can't. They want to make everything seem like it's so complex that when it comes to things that we don't believe in, that the situation is difficult. That we have to learn how to change our mindsets, and sometimes it is as simple, it is as easy as it seems to be, and a lot of times it actually is as easy. They just are trying to get us to not trust our instincts, to make us feel dumb about what we believe in, and I think that's doing more harm to this country than all of the other narratives and stuff combined. We have our instincts for a reason. We believe what we believe in for a reason. And me personally, I do believe the people are smart enough to make up their own minds about what's going on in this world. If you're listening, if you're genuinely listening to everything that's going on from the left, the right, and the people in the middle, I think there's enough information out there for you to make a pretty good conclusion as to what's going on in very different subjects. I voted. I won't lie. I voted for Trump. I'm not happy about some of the decisions that are being made, and I'm not. And I refuse. To me, I refuse to just accept someone as my leader when they're doing some things that I think really go against my moral character or what I believe in morally. This thing with the Epstein list, for instance, I can't get past that. I'm sorry. Can't do it. I cannot get past the Epstein situation, debacle, whatever you want to call it, because at the end of the day, they want to make you believe it's about everything else. When you bring it down to its most simple reality, there are sexual predators who are getting away with victimizing children in this country because they have more money than the rest of us, because they have more political influence and power than the rest of us. That's the only reason why they're getting away with it. And so, but when it comes to speaking to the people, they want to make you believe that we care, we give a shit. But then you look at other situations, for instance, Matt Gaetz. I have a lot of respect for Matt Gaetz. This is why I'm going to speak on this situation. When he was in a position to become the Attorney General, the AG, before Pam Bondi, and I think he would have made a better AG than Pam Bondi. But there were some people that did not want him in that position because they were afraid of what he was going to accomplish in that position. So what do? They turn around and they start spreading rumors that he's some kind of pedophile, that he's engaged in some kind of sexual nonsense, some improprieties, and everything else. And so he chose to step down so that he wasn't a distraction to what was going on with Trump and his campaign at the time. But here's my problem with that and anyone else in that situation. If you truly believe that this person is a pedophile or that he sexually assaults and violates women in any capacity, if you truly believe that, why are you willing to let that go the minute they say, "Okay, I'll do what you want"? That's not the kind of country that I want to live in. If the person is guilty and you have evidence to show that this person is actually guilty of doing something, of harming and victimizing children, they need to go to prison. There is no deal on the table. And a lot of people want to sit here and try to convince me that Trump's name keeps coming up on the Epstein list because he was a pedophile, that he was messing around with these underage minors. I don't subscribe to that narrative. I don't have a reason. I'm not to say I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you and say I know for a fact that he's not on the list. I'm saying that because I do my homework. I'm not willing to just listen to anybody tell me that this man's name on the Epstein list means that he was messing around with underage minors, especially when we know that he had a failed relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and that he was, as far as I know, with the information I have, he was actually one of the informants for the FBI that got Jeffrey Epstein arrested and convicted. It's kind of hard and then on top of that, when you have the fact that the Democrats were so against Trump running for office and they were willing to lie to get him imprisoned for things that even if he did, they weren't felony type of offenses, but they were willing to do anything and everything they could, even try to assassinate the man in order to prevent him from running from office. So if you were willing to do all of these things and lie in order to keep this man from becoming president, if he was really on the Epstein list and you had evidence to prove that he was some kind of pedophile, and I believe they have enough evidence against everybody. So my point is if you had all of that evidence against Trump himself, why wouldn't you have released it and arrested this man when you were the leaders in power? Why wouldn't you do that? I think a more plausible explanation for all of this is that, and it doesn't make it any better, is that for whatever reason, Trump is trying to, in one way or another, he's protecting the people who are either predators or whatever the case may be, sexual assailants. I believe he's protecting them for reasons unknown. I don't know why. I don't know exactly who, but he's protecting that situation. Let's just put it that way. And I don't think that that's any better. When this problem that he has with Marjorie Taylor Greene right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene said in one of her statements, and you guys can choose to believe that she's a traitor. I don't believe she's a traitor. I just believe that she's standing on her own 2 feet, and she refuses to tell someone. She refuses to allow people to force her to have an opinion that she doesn't believe in, that she doesn't subscribe to. She wants the Epstein files released. They don't want them released. So all of a sudden she becomes an enemy to the state because she's not siding with Trump and saying, hey, we need to leave Epstein alone. What she did say, however, was that Trump said that, hey, releasing the Epstein files could hurt a lot of people. Who gives a shit? I don't care how many people that hurts. You're telling me what I just heard, if this is true, if he said This is going to hurt a lot of people. What I'm also hearing you say is that these people with money, these people of political influence, these people who are in some way, shape, or form just some kind of powerful figure. I don't know how else to describe it, but you're telling me that they are more important than than the regular people in this country. That if it was anybody else, because you've gone out and you've proved it actually. You've actually sent the FBI to do all of these other um, 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 arrests against pedophiles and sexual predators and things like that. They've done all of these other arrests against regular people. But when it comes to the people in power, the people that matter, the people on the Epstein list, and then as quiet as it's kept, the people who were kind of involved with this whole P. Diddy situation, because you noticed when that started, they talked about underage minors. But when they sent Diddy to court, all of a sudden, we didn't hear anything else about these underage minors. I believe there's a connection there as well. But so when it comes to people who have the money and the power, we're afraid we're going to hurt them as opposed to the people and the lives that they destroyed. This is not the type of government that we need. We don't need to be supporting this type of government. We don't need to be listening to them tell us who we need to be divided against and who we need to be listening to, because all they ever do is lie to us. And listen to me, I'm giving you the pattern, and you can preach against it. You can choose to believe that I'm out of my rabbit ass mind, but I'm giving you the pattern. It's the same system. And until they prove differently, I encourage you, I challenge you to go out there and prove that I'm wrong. Every single time we lose faith and we lose hope in our government, they replace that leader, that the face of that government, with another new leader. They give us a fresh face, a fresh quote unquote system, so that we can begin to have hope, to begin to believe them. And again, this time it will be different. These people can't be lying to us as bad as the last set of people in office. They can't be as bad, but they actually are. They're not just as bad. It's the same system with a new face on it. I when when did we when did they vote just recently on releasing all the Epstein files? And now I'm hearing all of a sudden. Let me see if I can find this, man. Um, the DOJ. I believe it was the DOJ. In fact, let's just go to Grok. I guess let's ask Grok. Um, Here, let me switch this over so you guys can see this as well. Who released the fake video of Epstein committing suicide? I don't know if you guys heard about this already. It's crazy. I was told it was the DOJ. Searching on X, blah, blah, blah. We got all these different results. The fake video purporting to show Jeffrey Epstein committing suicide in his prison cell is a computer-generated recreation that has circulated online for years. It is not authentic footage. So they're not saying the DOJ. Wait, blah, blah, blah. Wait, here we go. Let's go down. Recent viral spread as part of a massive December 2025 DOJ release of Epstein-related documents under transparency laws. The video file appeared unlabeled on the DOJ website alongside the tipster's email. This caused brief chaos and misinformation on social media, with some outlets like TMZ initially sharing it as potential real footage. So apparently DOJ had access to this video footage, and then they somehow released it on their website or everything else. So a lot of people are under the impression that the DOJ created this fake video file of Epstein killing himself to prove that there really is no conspiracy. But that's not what people care about, man. People don't care about none of that shit right now. What they care about are the people responsible. And so here we are. We just voted on this whole Transparency Act for the Epstein files. And excuse my crazy hair, man. Like I said, I just got back off my truck and I'm trying to look presentable to you guys on video right now. But we got all of we voted to release the information, and now we still have a process to release the information. It's never going to be over. And mark my words, this is why I believe people should listen to a Candace Owens and a Tucker Carlson. And even, you're going to hate me for saying this, a lot of you guys are going to, all of a sudden, I have to be a Nazi as well for agreeing to this. But even listen to people like Nick Fuentes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've learned personally. I'm not saying I agree with a lot of the things, like his take on racism and preserving his race. I don't agree with any of that. But the thing is at the end of the day, I don't care where the facts come from. If what is being said is truth, that's what I care about more than anything else. And unfortunately, listening to someone like Nick Fuentes, you have to be willing to filter through the BS in order to get to the meat of the conversation. I, for one, am willing to do that because there are some things that he says that does make sense. He is an America First supporter. I support that, but I don't necessarily support a lot of the other things that he does. Unfortunately, and this is where we have a problem, the same problem that I had when I was forced to decide between Trump and these woke narratives and everything else in the past, is you can't always believe what you hear because our governments and the media, they are really good at twisting these narratives and taking things out of context. And when you take the time to really look into a lot of things that have happened with Nick Fuentes, a lot of the things that they take out of context with this man is because he got tired of the character assassinations when he chose to stand his ground and not agree with a lot of the things that he said. So he's like, fuck it. If you're going to call me a Nazi, then I'll just go ahead and be a Nazi because that seems to be getting me more attention by just admitting it and forcing people to, if you're, whether you're talking bad about me or talking good about me, at least you're talking about me. And I think that's the stance he took because he could have chose to go away. He could have chose to be like, look, that's not me, and you guys are lying to me, and decide to step away from politics or decide to step away from being in front of these cameras because he didn't like what they were saying about him. And the problem with that is that the people who did it would have won. There's a reason. So my point is, I don't listen to Nick Fuentes because I agree with everything he has to say. I just trust I trust myself. I trust myself to when he says some things that I believe could be considered racist or could be considered, him being a Nazi and everything else. I just choose not to agree with what he has to say. But when my own government and these pro-Israel first agenda supporters and everything else are telling me not to listen to particular individuals because they're anti-Semitic, I have learned that I should listen to them more, not less. I want to know why my government, why these political influencers, why all of these other people on whether you're on the right or the left are telling me. They're not telling you, they're not debating the information, and they're not debating the facts that are being said. They're taking things out of context, and then they're assassinating the person's character because they know they've got us on a page. They have groomed us to stop listening to people just because we hate them. So now that they've groomed us to be on that page, all they have to do now is to give us a reason to hate a person, and we're no longer going to listen to anything that they have to say. So that's kind of my Christmas gift to both myself and to the community that we're going to grow and support. And that is, we're going to stop listening to these narratives. If the narratives have truth to them, then we'll let the truth speak for itself. We're not going to allow, we're growing a community where attacking a person's character is not the priority. We want to know what's being said because the people matter more. We're choosing people over politics. And that's going to be the mission here in 2026 for me. And I know that once we get going, I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know that we're going to have a huge impact on how we change the way that people think. That is the plan. If you guys haven't seen the Righteous website, it's a social community. Once I'm going to spend the first year getting it to grow where people can share their opinions and share their experiences, just like what you would do on Facebook. I encourage anybody and everybody to join up, but I will tell you that although I didn't create it to be a Republican based community. I did create it to be something a little bit more conservative based on traditional American values. I do believe the only way we can create peace here in America is to create an America First agenda. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know how to define that. I'm just saying that if you live here in this country and you are a, I guess, citizen of this country, you deserve more attention than anybody else. And I'm not saying we don't get to them. I'm saying we have to learn to take care of our own before we can take care of other people. That's what I would like to accomplish. And I'm not just going to say it. I told you, I've got some debts that I need to take care of here in the late 2025 and early 2026. But if you guys check out the Righteous website already and you guys decide to become a member, you'll see that not only do I have my personal page, but I have Mike Rock Uncensored, where we'll be talking a lot about politics and stuff in that regard. But I also have a page called Truck Stop. Anybody that's looking to better their own lives and they can see themselves becoming a truck driver, I'm going to be using that page to provide a lot of useful information to help you either get started in that field or to just become better. Things that I'm learning on my own personal journey. I think it's a great way. If you've got the time, yes, there is a time commitment. It's going to pull you away from your family. But if the goal is to do better for your family, to get them in a better position, and you're willing to make that sacrifice, I can't think of a better job for you to have in 2026 than becoming a truck driver, if you can do that. So the Truck Stop page, and it will probably be named something else at a later date, but it is a page for people who either want to become truckers or want to be better at becoming truckers, have questions, want to share information and things like that. That's kind of like, those are the things that I want to be doing, helping other people to achieve success in their own lives. We're also going to do a page called Pay It Forward. I want to bring back a pay it forward system where we're doing things out of the kindness of our heart. I'm not talking about giving to these charities because I'm hearing a new rumor about these charities where they're only required to give 2.5%. 2.5% of all the money they raise to the cause that they're raising money for. I was always led to believe that it was 25%, which is still a ridiculously low number. But if that number is actually 2.5%, I don't understand why anybody would choose to give money to these charities knowing that at the end of the day, it's just highway robbery. Nobody should be getting involved with the charity so that they can make money for themselves. My personal belief is that most of the people involved with these charities are doing it out of the kindness of their own heart, meaning that you should still have another job. And when you've got some free time, then go ahead and maybe we should have one or two people that are in charge of the organization process full time because it's needed, it's necessary. But for everybody else, you should have another job. You should not be getting rich off of a charitable organization. Not at all. Not even a little bit. So with a pay it forward system, we're just asking people to go out there and do something out of the kind because you have extra. Go out there, do something nice for the people who need it more. Don't give that money to the charitable donations unless you can show 100% that the majority of the money you donate is going to the cause itself. I would rather help a homeless person in Louisiana or North Carolina or wherever that money is. I would rather have a way to give that money to them directly or to at least help them do the right thing with that money directly than to give it to an organization and trust them to do the right thing with it. because they are proving over and over again that it is more about them than the people who actually need it. So again, let me backtrack because I have a bad habit of doing this because I am very passionate about what I'm trying to get involved with. With a pay it forward system, yes, we want to share those stories, not so that we can brag about it, but so that we can show the rest of the world that the system works. If you have extra money in your pocket or you have some kind of extra resource that you can give in order to help better someone else's life, if you've got information that can help people get on the right track if they just decide to use it, then why would you not want to help another person or help a group of people who need it? We don't necessarily, and I'm not speaking bad against churches at all. I'm just saying that we don't need a church. We don't need a charitable organization. You don't even need this channel in order to do the right thing by someone else's side. Me personally, besides helping people get started in the trucking industry, one of the things that I would like to do when I'm out there on the road is I want to find, like, if I've got the extra money and I'm taking care of my family and my debts are paid for, I want to be able to find someone, maybe find someone who's homeless or a family in need, and I want to be able to take some of my extra time and sit down and have a meal with them and make sure that they got food in their stomach and a few dollars in their pocket. Make sure, if it looks like they're doing drugs, I might not give them the money. I might just feed them. But it isn't about making sure that they do the right thing with the money that I give them. It's simply about giving out of the kindness of my own heart and hoping that it will spark something in them to want to pay it forward and do that for someone else. And I just think it'll be really amazing. If you've never seen the movie Pay It Forward, you need to go check it out. I think it's with Kevin Spacey, and the way that it started off as a school project and then reached some kind of worldwide attention. It got some kind of worldwide attention. I gotta rewatch that movie. I don't really care about the attention, but I have to admit that it would be really amazing to see sometime in the future, whether it's tomorrow or 5 or 10 years from now, but be able to see someone that comes back and says that they changed their life because of the generosity of someone that I may have helped in the past. I would love to be able to experience that, but even if I don't, because I'm doing it out of the kindness of my own heart, because it's something that I want to do, it really won't matter if I get that recognition or if I get to see the fruits of my labor. I just need to trust that am making the right decision in doing that. And the more money I make, the more attention we bring to this project, this program, then the more that we'll be able to do. I want to be able to help people in their personal lives. I want to be able to help people more directly because, again, we have to get on a page where people matter more than politics. People over politics, people over big tech, big companies, big pharmaceuticals. The people have to matter most. And the only way that I believe that that's going to happen is if we, the people, begin to take charge and start making decisions that are helping and supporting one another. Again, though, a lot of times in the past when I've talked about these things, I felt like I can't just be myself. I can't continue to talk shit and then still prove to the rest of you guys that I genuinely care about what's going on in this world. And I have to stop. I have to stop caring about what a lot of people think because everybody has their own opinions about everything that's going on. So I want to be able to help other people because it's the right thing to do, but I don't want to stop being who I am in the process. So if I'm telling jokes and I'm talking shit and I'm using cuss words or whatever the case may be that makes you not like who I am as a person, that's on you. That's a you problem. It's not going to be a me problem. I'm getting on a page now. I spent 2025 to me, I thought was supposed to be a year that changed my life for the better, meaning that I was going to be successful. I was going to begin to start making the kind of money that I hoped for. And then where I'm planning to be in 2026, I thought that I would be there in 2025. Turns out 2025 was just happened to be a year of preparation. It's a year that's getting me ready for what's about to happen in 2026. And I do believe because I now have the financial resources and the time commitments necessary to grow these communities, to sit here in front of you guys and to tell you that it matters, not because I need your help, but because I am now in a position to help others. And that's where I've wanted to be in just about forever. So we're there. We're still going to be talking about things video related. I want to talk about my disdain that I have for a lot of these pro-Israel people. Not because I'm against Israel at all. I just don't like the fact that they are turning their backs on the rest of us who choose to be pro-American and choose to be America first, and they're trying to convince the rest of the world that being America first is evil, that it's the wrong thing to be. People like Ben Shapiro, I can't stand that little man. And I can't remember a time where I ever liked, I love the fact that he's intelligent. I love the fact that when I first began to listen to him on his videos, like he made a lot of sense until as long as you did not disagree with anything the government of Israel was doing or anything that they were, any of the money that we've been sending them or whatever they were doing in these wars, or as long as you didn't disagree with them, he made a lot of sense and he spoke up for the people. But the minute that you did say, hey, I'm not against Israel, I'm not anti-Semitic, I just don't agree with this particular issue. Now all of a sudden you're the most horrendous person on the planet. You're the most evil person out there. Nobody should ever listen to anything that you have to say ever again because you just have to be anti-Semitic. And I think that that's just some radical left bullshit. I think that some, it started with the left, but now I'm starting to see that it's not just radical left bullshit, that it's actually happening on the right side too. They used to be about debating the facts because the facts and the truth were on their side. But now that they've gotten into power, all of a sudden the facts don't matter anymore. What matters is what we want, what we're trying to accomplish. And if you're not on board with everything we say 100%, then you're a traitor to the cause. That's the new word. It's not Nazi so much as it is, and it's not Nazi or racist or what's this fat shaming and all these other words. Now Nazi's still being used, but you also have to be anti-Semitic and you have to be woke right. And what's the other word I'm hearing? There's some other words that they're choosing to use out there, and it's all bullshit. It's none of it's true. No, we don't have Nazis. We don't have Nazis here in America on the same page we did when Hitler was in power. It's just not true. But they have to make you believe that they are the most evil people on the planet for no other reason than they don't subscribe to that particular narrative. And it's ruining other people's lives. And to me, that's just wrong. And if you feel the same way, then you need to know that it's okay, that you're not the only one that feels that way. And I'll even go this far. Because of the way that they're ruining people's lives, it takes a special kind of person, a special kind of crazy in some regards, to be able to step out and say, you know what, I don't care what you think about me. Because a lot of people do have a lot more to lose than they're willing. They have to think about their families and they have to put what's going on in their own lives. They have to make that a priority. And so I understand when they can't speak out, when they can't stand up, or they're afraid to lose their jobs. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and call you a coward. What I am going to say, though, is just because you can't speak it out loud does not mean that you can't still listen and that you can't still vote in the right direction when the time comes. Nobody needs to know who you voted for. If you need to tell someone you voted for Biden just to keep your job, but then you turn around and on the ballot, you secretly put in Trump or whoever else you put in, if you felt it was the right decision, then you do what you got to do for you. I was supposed to begin this stream drinking. I got some because what is it? Is it Christmas yet? It's not Christmas just yet. For some of you, it's Christmas, but for me, it's not. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this stream is I'm going to put on a little music. Let me see, Apps Manager. There it is, open. It's taking too long. Oh my God, what did I do? Oh no, I can't see shit now. I don't know what's going on, man. As long as I'm still streaming, yeah, it looks like I'm still streaming. We're still doing good. I'm gonna keep drinking until this thing with this slipstream goes away, or whatever the case may be. I might have to end the stream in a little bit. I don't know, or restart it or something. I don't know. It's doing some wacky ass shit right now. Maybe this is a good time for me to tell you first. Cheers, Merry Christmas, all of those other good things. But if you're not doing so already, I invite you now to follow the channel, like the channel, do whatever you got to do so that you guys can continue to see me over and over again. I cannot, at least right now, I would say for the next, man, what is going on? Look, I got to fix this. I don't know what just happened to my Streamlabs. Control Alt Delete. Let me see if I can't. Task Manager. I'm hoping that there's a part of this that I can. It's got like, I don't know how many processes. Please forgive me. Let me see if I can't close one that's going to. That's what I get, man. Anyways, yeah, follow the channel, man, if you can. I appreciate it. We got a lot of valuable information we're going to share with you guys in the future. The one thing that I can promise you guys is that I am not going to sit up here and lie to you for the sake of growing my channel, for the sake of making extra money. I'm not going to do any of those things. You know, like if you're supporting the channel, I'll know because our website is growing. You know, righteous.com. You guys should check that out. Become members over there. It's going to grow. We're going to get to a point where we have enough members to where we can. I have to put it on I have some plans for it. I have to put it on a stronger server first, which there's no point in doing right now because we don't have enough members. But once we get to that point, we'll put it on a stronger server, and I will immediately have apps available for you to download on through Google, through Apple. We're going to be doing things like that. There's going to be a Messenger app and a site app, just like Facebook has. One thing that I will not be doing is I will not be allowing you to upload videos. It's just a lot of unnecessary and wasted space. You know, no point in trying to get you guys to pay more when we've got other services like YouTube that you can use or Rumble that you can use, and then just share the video stream if you want to grow your channels and stuff over there. What I really do like about what we're doing, what we're going to have with the Righteous community is, and don't laugh at me for saying this, but you guys, if you guys are familiar with OnlyFans, I know a lot of you guys are. It's going to function in a very similar way. Not meaning, no, we're not going to allow you to get nude on the channel and completely ruin what we're trying to build. But what you will be able to do is if you have a valuable service that you want to offer to people in need, whether it's a church group or you're a personal trainer or maybe you're even a streamer of some sort, you will be able to create your own page. And as long as you get verified, you'll be able to make money, make an income, like whether it's through tips, whether it's through a membership. But of course, it's going to work like any other economy. You're going to have something valuable to provide people. We will grow the audience and we will give you an opportunity to put what you have in front of the people, but it's going to grow or fail, succeed or fail through your own efforts. And hopefully we can do some things to help you, especially if you got something worthwhile to the rest of the people. Hopefully we can get involved and help you to grow it even more. And then, of course, a lot of the proceeds and stuff that we get from the work that we do, we will be using to help out more people through time. I do, unlike our government, I truly believe in transparency. I don't have no problems telling people how much money we've been able to make, how much money we've been able to share, because at the end of the day, I am not a materialistic person. If I become rich, you best believe I plan on doing something with all of the money that I have, something positive, because when I die, I can't take that money with me. I will make sure that my kids are provided for, but I'm also teaching my kids how to work for themselves, how to be their own successful people. And those are the kind of things I don't want to just give to people. I want to encourage them to do better for themselves. And so, like I said, transparency for me is really, really huge, because if you're going to get on board with what we're doing, if you're going to trust the things that I say, then you need to know that I'm being transparent and that I'm very genuine and passionate about the things that I believe in. I'm not doing this for any other reason. And I know people eventually, as we grow, will want to take what I say out of context. Well, you said this back then. Yes, I've said it, but have you listened to the whole video? Or this is what I meant. And if you choose to take someone else's word for it, knowing who I said I've been this whole entire time, again, that is not a me problem. That is a you problem. I will invite you to go back and look at either the entire video or everything that I've done and said over time, and not just take one little thing that I said. Because I'm sure if you look back at any of my social media content, I'm sure there's something that I've said that will make me sound either racist or homophobic or just whatever the case may be. But the truth is, I'm none of those things. I love and hate everybody equally, man. I want what's best for everyone. Just because we don't always agree does not mean I want you to fail. I'm not that kind of person. I don't see the need in it. I don't. Having hate in my heart is wasted energy. I've been through way too much in my own life to allow those kind of things to hold on to that kind of negative energy for too long. So, anyways, I want to know, man. Tell me, you guys, what you guys think, and is what I'm saying resonating with you, or is it making sense? Do you want more of it? Um, I plan on I don't plan on attacking a person's character so much as I plan on getting on here and telling you who I think is wrong for something they've said and why I think it's wrong. Again, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. That's how we grow. That's how I've become more educated over time. Is I'm my own worst critic. If I tell you something and it happens to be wrong, you've just taught me a lesson, and I'm grateful for the information you gave me that helped me to change my mind. And it's just funny how people say, "Well, you remember when you said this back 10 years ago?" Yeah, I remember that. But what you're also telling me is that I'm not allowed to change my opinion, or I'm not allowed to change my mind, or I'm not allowed to grow as a person, which would mean that I might have a different opinion today than I did yesterday. I no longer believe in or subscribe to a particular thing because I've received more information that has allowed me to become a bigger and better person as a result. And so, like I said, it's those kind of things we really, 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 really need to get away from. This is the most comfortable I've been in front of a camera in a very, very long time. I'm drinking Jack Daniels Southern Peach. It's actually really, really good. I think I'm only going to have one can because I haven't drank it in a long time. And I've got today off, I got tomorrow off, and then I go back to work. And I want to just be able to sit here and enjoy as much time as I possibly can with my kids, and possibly even with you guys again. I don't know. I've got some spare time. I might play some video games. What is it, 11:02? I might play some video games for a little while. But I might also just go to bed and get ready for Christmas. I bought my daughter this. You guys ever heard of these Fugglers? I didn't want to buy her one because, like, the name itself, Fugler. You remember what Fugly stood for, like fucking ugly. I'm like, why would they decide it was a good idea to promote that word to little kids? And it's we live in a very different world now today than we did back when I was a kid. Like, that was just unacceptable. However, these little ugly little whatevers. They got like these bone. They got these real looking teeth in their mouths. They're super ugly. My daughter wanted one, so I did buy her one. I'm guilty. And I wish I had it in the room. I'd show it to you. It's so ugly. I don't remember when we got on a page where ugly became the new beautiful. Like, when did that happen? Ever? I know it seems like I'm drunk right now, but in reality, I'm just recovering. My body hurts from from everything that I've been doing, and I really wish I knew what was going on. Hold on, I'm gonna try to fix this, man, because I'm tired of not being able to see anything. So if my stream goes down, I do apologize. Um, let's just end the task and see what happens. That didn't seem to do anything. Um, end task.